Hello everyone, welcome to our next session of ABAP learning series. So last week we have discussed data types and basic concepts of ABAP programming, table and how to store the data in the table, and other DDIC objects like data elements and domains. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the complex data types. Okay, before discussing what is the complex data types, we must understand why we need the complex data types. Okay, so last time we have seen in table the data is being stored with multiple columns of data, right? So to get those data in our programs and use it in our programs, we need similar kind of variables which can hold multiple column or multiple columnar data. Okay, so we need a variable which can have separate fields like employee number, first name, last name, age, so that that variable can hold our table entries. Okay, and sometimes our variable must be able to hold multiple employees. Okay, that means a variable will have 4 columns for 4 different fields, but it again has multiple rows so that it can have details of 10 employees. Okay, so due to those needs we need complex data types in our ABAP. Okay, so now what is a complex data types? So complex data types are made up of other data types and must be created using the existing data type. So here if you see, this is how the complex data types are being created. Okay, now coming to the next one, this, so there are two kinds of complex data types. One is structure and one is internal table. Okay, structure is a variable which can have only one row but it has multiple columns, and internal tables, it is similar to structure but it can hold data with multiple records. Okay, so the structures are again divided into 3 different types, where if it is a flat structure it has just multiple columns or multiple fields. If it is a nested structure, one field of a structure is a structure, is itself a structure. Okay, so here if you see in the screen, this is a structure field A and field B, but field B is a structure which has 2 fields known as field C and field D, and there is once again a deep structure. Okay, so what is a deep structure? If you see the field B, it has a structure field C and D, and those structure will have multiple records of data. Okay, so that is why it is called as deep structure, but don't worry about that. So these are all easy and we can easily understand how this functions. Okay, so we will discuss that in our next, in a later stage. Okay, while programming it will be clear. And there is this next complex type of data is called as internal tables. Okay, so these are like dynamic data objects that can store multiple rows of data with common row types. So what is a row type? Row type is nothing but a structure. Okay, so how many types of internal tables are there? Based on the sorting mechanism, okay, we have divided that into 3 different type of internal tables. One is standard table, one is sorted table, one is hash table. Sorted table and hash table will have the entries of the internal table in a sorted manner with respect to the key fields. Okay, so now let's go to the programming and understand how we can declare an internal table or structure and how we are reading the data to those structures or internal tables. Okay, now let's go to our SAP. kind of another. Tiru, listen, okay. So last week, now let's create a complex data type, okay. So the syntax is types begin of tyemp. So type employee. So now here we have to give the field names. Any name you can give. I am just giving the same name so that we can understand. So here you see, so we have to put the semicolon here, then we need to put comma, so everything will be considered as one group of this complex data type, okay. So tyemp is the data type we have declared or created, okay. And if you see, we have given this zempno is the data type, and zempno is nothing but a data element, right? We have created here. And if you see, this zempno is of type character and length is 10. So that is why here we have only given this zempno without any length specifications, because length is already declared for this fname, lname, zs, length and decimals, descriptions, everything we have already declared. So that is why we are not giving here anything. So only the data element name is sufficient to declare those fields. Now, so whatever we have created, this tyemp, it is a complex data type, okay. So we cannot use this data types to store data. We need to create a variable of this complex data type to store all these informations, okay. So that is why we have to do like this. We have to use the data statement lsemp. ls stands for local structure, okay. That means this lsemp is only used in this program ytest4, okay. But if you see this zemp, nemo, fname, everything we created in data dictionary. That means we have used the SE11 transaction code to create all these details, okay. So as this table and this data element, fields, everything is created in the data dictionary, it is global to SAP. So in SAP, any program can access all these details, okay. So that is why in our program we can use those data dictionary objects without any issues, okay. Now here also, this is our variable name, then type, then we have to give the data type. So here the data type is ty_emp. This ty_emp we have created, and this is a complex data type, right? So that is being done. So now we have declared the structure, okay. Now coming to the next data type, we have, so what is our next data type? Yes, the internal tables are next data type which can have details in multiple columns, but they can have multiple rows of data, right? So how to declare this? So you can declare this as data lt local table, okay, emp type this table of ty underscore emp, okay, because ty underscore emp is a data type, so we have declared this lt underscore emp type table of ty underscore emp. That means the itemp is a tabular table with structure this, okay. So now how to use it, right? So this part is our data declarations, okay. Now we need to get the data from this table, okay, this table. So how do you read data from tables in Oracle or anything? You have to use the structured query languages, right? So in this case we also need to use SQL queries, and in SAP we call it as OpenSQL, okay. So select empno fname lname age, just a minute. So here you can write this select query. So first thing is you have to write the select, then list of the fields in the same sequence as it is in the table, from table name into table emp, okay. So here one thing you keep in mind, the sequence in which you are reading the fields from the table, it should be the same sequence the data must be declared in this internal table, okay. That means here it is employee number, fname, lname, age. So here also while reading you must read like this in the same sequence, okay. As you are reading all the table fields, you can write select star from ZEMP into table okay. So as of the new syntax, you must put this @ symbol before any variables in select queries, okay. That is why I am putting it here, okay. But previously else you can write like this as well, okay. Select okay. So this is the new syntax, like ABAP 7.5 you are using this new syntax, okay. And this is the previous old select statement where we don't have to separate the fields with comma. So in that case you can write the directly the internal table without this escape character, okay. So and for this, as we are using the star, we don't need to separate the fields with a comma, right? So in that case we can write like this as well, okay. Select from EMP to table lt underscore emp. Okay, older syntax. You may say why you need to understand the older syntax, because there are still programs which might be written 10 years back or 5 years back. During those times they might be using this old syntaxes, so that you should understand, okay, this is the use of this syntaxes. Okay, so that is why I have explained this older syntaxes. Okay, now remember we have used different type of loops in ABAP. Let me see if I can find the loops here. Okay, no, not here, right? Okay, yes. So do while and loop, and I have told you that this loop and loop we will discuss little later, right? So we are going to discuss this loop and loop today. Okay, so now coming to this loop at internal table lt underscore emp into the structure name ls underscore emp, right? Then write okay. Now let's comment these three syntaxes. Okay, save, check, then activate. Okay, so now execute this one. See, you can see all the two records, right? So here what we did, so this lt underscore employee has all the data that is there in this table. Okay, in this table there are two records, so all the two records have been passed into this internal table. Then we are using this loop into this internal table, and each record we are passing this to the structure. Okay, then we are writing this structure and we are closing the loop, right? As soon, so if this LTEMP has 10 entries, then this loop and loop will run 10 times and the output would be written as 10 records. Okay, so now let's check other syntaxes as well. Okay, see, in the table we have this MANDT field, but in this structure there is no MANDT field. Okay, that is why it is giving this error. Now let's create now activate this one, activate this one,